Eagles came back from down 26-7 today to win an amazing game. So happy, go Birds. But I'm convinced they're just trolling. I think they're trolling everyone in the league. I think they're trolling us, the fans, and it's just what they do. And I love every second of it. Incredible game from the Eagles, man, out there. They went out there trailing, came back, won the game. And I think they're trolling. I think all week we were talking about can Kevin Patulu call plays. I didn't know the dude could call a pass play until today. I'm not going to lie. Somehow deep down he looked within and he found those Kellen Moore plays because the offense just started clicking. A.J. Brown, who after the first 2 weeks not doing anything, had 100 yards today. Huge game for him and a touchdown with a bunch of catches. Huge plays on third downs that we needed all game. Devontae Smith, very good game, being that possession slot receiver. The game-winning touchdown for Devontae Smith. Jalen Hurts throwing his obviously season high, 233 yards, or 223 yards actually, just 20 away from what he threw in the first two games combined, but he didn't need to do it in the first two games, so why do what isn't there and what you don't have to do? I think that offensive explosion, I think they were a little capable of that before, and I just think it's funny that they just pulled it out at this moment. Now, it's great to know. I think we should start off a little bit quicker, but they have been trying to establish the run, trying to see it. And this game, they were playing a team in the Rams that I would say is the best defense that we've seen thus far. I think the Chiefs' defense is good, but I think the Rams is better. I think their front four is really explosive. As you saw, they forced a fumble, got a touchdown off of that. I think the Chiefs are very much more, they have the refs on their side too, but the Chiefs are much more strategic with it. The Rams, I think, have more pure talent at those up front positions. So because of that, I do think that was definitely a factor for sure at certain points, especially with no Lane Johnson in there. But we had Fred Johnson come in and some backup reps, and he played great out there, really helping us in those stretches. But the fact that we started calling those passes, the fact that they figured out what Devontae can do, figured out what AJ does, shows me, and this is really the point, the infrastructure of the team, where you think they're trolling or whether you think they just came from behind and fought, which I think it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. The infrastructure, what Siranni's been doing with that team for the last, couple of seasons, I think last 4 or 5 years, him and Jalen Hurts, what they've created, that was just a machine. When we start, the second we hit the one deep pass to AJ, it was on. Because next play, touchdown to Goddard. Next drive, just smooth. Boom, 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 touchdown. Going to AJ, going to Devontae. Finishing it with an AJ touchdown, where a lot of people wanted to push off, but whatever. Devontae Adams was pushing off early. So you call one, you got to call both. You don't call one, you don't call either. I think that it was just for everyone to be involved, for Saquon not to be good, for Saquon really to be bad for most of the game, for Landon to still be hurt, for no Lane Johnson, for just purely the defense. And we'll get more to the defense, but for that offense to come together, know exactly what they got to do. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts. I'm really ecstatic. I knew Jalen Hurts was this good. I think he's the best quarterback in the league, and he just does this when necessary. Whatever you need, I'm going to do to win the game. And this time it was down 19, trailing, and he came back and he won the game. It was incredible. But I think A.J. Brown so far this year has just been, he's been very, from what we've seen, calm, and that's all that matters. I hope he was yelling all week, get me the ball, because he was right. He needed the football. But for him to kind of appreciate almost what they have with the winning culture, and to know that Jalen Hurts is going to throw him the football. At some point, it's going to happen. And even last year when he called out the passing offense wasn't good. They weren't scoring against the Panthers. So A.J. Brown is just a great player. And you saw it today, just catching passes, shaking people off his back, really hitting a different mode of anger and aggression that we needed when we were down 19. It was really great. And Devontae Smith in the slot, amazing. They started learning how to use him. They had a huge play on third down to get a first down. When we started that comeback where they put Devontae in motion, it's good to know that they still have that creativity. That's what I think was lacking the most. I don't think it was anyone necessarily playing bad. I think that, sure, you Saquon win the game, do whatever. The defense was great, sure. And so for them to do this now, great. You'd like to see it a little earlier, but we're the Eagles, is what we do. We'd like to stress people out. And they wonder why we're always stressed about this team when we're down 19 out of nowhere at home. But after playing our rivals and playing the Super Bowl champs, at the beginning, it was a malaise. It was like, oh, well, whatever. This team's good. And they were making good plays. They hit us with the bomb. The defense, by the way, shout out the defense, just holding them to 3 points consistently. That was great. And that was big. And I'm going to touch on this a little bit, but you just saw the difference in the quarterbacks today. Stafford can't run. Hurts had 40 rushing yards and a touchdown. Stafford was missing easy passes to Puka. Puka cooked us, but he could have cooked us more. Like, there were a lot of plays out there that he didn't hit. And you could see their offense, they had to go to a lot of under center. And when they couldn't be in that situation, when it was like 3rd and long, they couldn't convert, and they kept not converting. And you could feel the defense figuring it out, but every big situation, them stepping up until I would say at the end where they drove down the field. But that's why you block some field goal kicks. I mean, this game had so many layers to it. I just looked at it 6 minutes in. I didn't even talk. Jordan Davis securing the game, blocking the kick, getting a touchdown. Incredible. He had a great game. He also got a sack on Stafford where he just ran him down. I mean, his speed now, this is why you hit the elliptical, baby, whatever he's doing, treadmill, jogging, whatever Jordan Davis is doing. He came in great shape, and we needed him to be faster, to be more of a Milton Williams type than the run stopper that he's been. And the run defense, not great, let up about 162 yards, but still, those guys made plays when necessary. Jordan Davis, a huge stop on 4th down, where we did give him the ball right back, but just a crucial stop. Jalen Carter, he had one of the blocks. So when your 2 D tackles can get a block apiece, and one could take it into the end zone right when you need it. I mean, Nick Siranni, man, he might be the best coach in the league right now. What they do on a game-to-game basis, and there is so much talent. I think it's a lot of bests, right? I think Howie's the best GM. Disputed at this point. The team is just so much talent on it, and they just replace with Jihad. And the parts of the team look leaky today, but it is what it is. And I just think that Hurts, comes back from down 19. Everyone calls him whatever. He won, I forget how many. It was 15 heading into the season, straight games. So now he's at 18 straight games that he started and not left with a concussion. Him and A.J. Brown together, by the way, on the field, have not lost a game in the last 2 seasons. But that's just a literal fact. It hasn't happened. When we lost games last year, one or both of those players were missing. I don't know what you want me to do. The defense that's just a ridiculous stat. So you do with that what you want, but it's been now 2 seasons where they've played at that level. And for Saquon not to be great, like Siranni, just whatever he does at halftime, man, the comebacks, we're starting to see it more and more. And this is one of the things. But when we had that season, when we were struggling, one of the things was that Hurts was coming back in games by himself. Hurts and A.J. Brown. Actually, people don't remember this. That season, it was so crazy because the defense was bad. They were 30th in the league at points per game. Won't happen with Vic. Vic is a monster. Vic is way too good. He just shut them. They actually only had 19 points, we're being honest, because, fumble, whatever. But I say Jalen had 40 in the Super Bowl, so whatever. We'll get it to you. 26 points. But 19 on the offense. But one of the things about it that was annoying was Jalen Hurts started doing everything himself, every run, all of that stuff. And AJ was doing it too, because there was a point where AJ was MVP, but then AJ got hurt. This team, right now, Saquon hasn't started doing anything. When Saquon starts breaking off some runs, everyone's going to be chilling. And I think that's why you start off, make people know that threat of the pass is there a little earlier to open up Saquon. But as much as I want to argue with nitpick, whatever, they're 3-0. That all parts of the team have stepped up at different points. We saw the defense do it without Jalen Carter late in the game against the Cowboys, make big stops. We've seen them get interceptions against the Chiefs. We've seen the tush push and just us went physical with no turnovers. We've seen Jake Elliott hit big kicks. We've seen A.J. Brown make big plays. We've seen Devontae Smith catch game-winning touchdowns. We've seen Goddard leave. All right, take his little vacation, come back. We've seen the offensive line without Lane Johnson. It's just and Sirianni's just running it. This is incredible that they're 3-0 right now. It really is. It really is. Like, as much as I want to, and I did a little bit of on the podcast, pound my chest. It's a marvel the fight that they showed today. They could have just been like, it's not our day at any point. Like, the offense has 30 yards. National media laughing at you. -1 yard at half. Well, guess what? Now we know we got to throw the ball. So he stopped calling all those screens and draws and everything and let Hurts throw the football. And that's good to know that we have it in our bag. Now, do you do it earlier in the game? Do you throw bombs? What do you do? But one thing I will say, I would like more pressure on the quarterback. The Rams seem to have all day. The trenches. I don't even want to say it's a concern because the Rams had complete control. So when you have complete control, you can run the ball, because the offense just wasn't moving. So the defense was out there all game. But the defense made stops in the red zone. It's just a complete unit of a win. Like, them not letting up touchdowns, keeping the offense in the game. The offense not turning the ball over until they did. And then immediately after the turnover being like, all right, let's let them hang. Let's start throwing the fucking football and then scoring. And then as soon as they start scoring, the defense starts getting stops. And they score enough to where the defense, all right, they don't get a stop, but we still have the lead at the end of the game. And then they block a special teams, block a field goal, even though our kick returning was awful, mainly because the Rams have a very interesting kickoff. It's just impressive stuff. Impressive that they're 3-0. I'm sorry. Unprofessional. I'm going to look for my phone real quick. I'll just stop. Gonna lie. So a couple of things. One, Tony the Tiger told me he was saying as well that we were too nervous as Eagle fans. Like, no, you can't tell us how we did this. We won a ring. Being like this. Being on these guys' ass. So every second, as soon as I was in a chat, and the second that they were like, oh, they're gonna blame Hurts, I'm like, good, blame them all. This was awful. The first half, the 7 points to 30 yards. I was like, this was fucking ridiculous. We're too old for this, we're too good for this bullshit. And they turned it around. They heard the noise. He got on Twitter. He did the Steph Curry. I do want to point out, though, Eagles' future schedule. They are 3-0 with impressive wins. They play the Buccaneers next. 1 o'clock. I hate playing the Bucs, bro. I really do. Then the Broncos. Then the Giants on Thursday, and then the Vikings. So hopefully the Giants give up at that point. But the Bucs and then the Broncos, it doesn't get much easier. And then the Thursday game, it doesn't get much easier for the Birds in these next coming weeks. But that was truly impressive stuff. What they did Sunday at 1, coming back, fighting, getting 3-0, and now tied for the conference lead. And they will be fighting for the conference lead straight up against another team that's 3-0 with Baker and the Bucs. That's going to be a very, very interesting game. Todd Bowles has normally caused Jalen Hurts problems on offense, but the last 2 times they played him, there was no A.J. Brown. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. Go Birds. Big win. Catch you.